So I wanted to go over some things that I might have missed when talking about these new controllers. And the first thing was someone in the comment section asked if I could weigh them. So I actually have a little kitchen scale right here. And it weighs about 184 grams. For reference, this Xbox controller has double A's in it. And it weighs almost 300 grams. So you can see it's about like 120 grams more. So, this is significantly heavier. But that same commenter said it actually is a good thing that it's lighter, because if you're someone who uses gyro, you want your controller to be lighter, presumably, so you're not as fatigued after long play sessions. So I would consider that a good point for it to be lighter. It is kind of sad that we don't get rumble, but you know what? I guess I'll take it. Now, another commenter asked if I could test the capacitive buttons, which I totally forgot. The Steam Deck has built-in capacitive buttons on the thumbsticks, and so does this controller. So you can see when just by touching these thumbsticks, they show up on the controller tester over here. And of course, these forward buttons also work, the backward buttons work. Now, the weird thing is the trigger. The trigger buttons are also resistive, I guess that's the term. You'll see on the Xbox controller here that these triggers have a significant travel to them. So say you're in a racing game, you can press it like halfway to get your throttle going halfway, and then all the way down to go full throttle. Now the thing with these controllers is if you look at the travel distance, this is me pressing it down all the way. So if I were to do a half press, it's basically pressing it all the way, but there still is like a resistive touch to the controller. And let me show you what I mean by that. So on the screen here, if you see this left trigger test at the bottom here, now this is me pressing the button all the way. Now if I just lightly press the button like this, now you'll see if I can still vary how much I'm pressing the button here. So like this is all the way, this is kind of like a half press, but the feedback isn't great because it's just like how strong am I squeezing the button. Let me try to show you here. So this is me resistively pressing the button, and there's really not that much feedback. I'm not sure if this is focused, but this is me variably pressing the button here. So I'm not quite sure how this would translate to, say, like a racing game or GTA, so I might have to test that out. This is probably hard to see, but this is just me lightly pressing the trigger button. Notice how the car is not moving at all. So for the car to move, I have to press it with more force, like this. So just to kind of show you that again. Focusing on me, this is pressing the button, no movement on the car. This is me pressing harder, and now we're moving. So I'd say there is a little bit of speed control, but I would definitely say it's not super fine control, because you don't have like a wide range of movement that you would get with a typical like Xbox or PlayStation controller. It really is just like, do you want to go kind of slow or do you want to go kind of fast? I don't think there's like a great middle ground for that. And if you don't like the uncertainty of this on the back here, if you switch it, it'll just be on and off like a light switch. There's no like, middle ground. So now you'll see, I'll stop the car from moving. Now you'll see if I just lightly press it, it's full speed on the car. So this would be preferable with like most FPS games, but if you want to like do games where you're driving, you might want to go back to the like ramp-like trigger control setting. So I don't know if this is going to be the best game to test in, because it has controller support, and this guy asked me to try using Gyro to mouse beta, but I'm going to have to use Gyro to joystick beta. So these are the settings he asked me to do. So my activation key is just placing my thumb on the right stick capacitively. He said to turn gyro speed zone off, gyro speed dead zone off, gyro precision speed off, vertical/horizontal mixer to -25, acceleration to linear. Oh boy, there's so many settings. This to local space. See, all these settings, it's cool that they're here, but as someone who just wants to play the game, I wouldn't want to mess with all this. And then they said everything else can be set to default, and they think the stuttering issue might be due to Bluetooth, so I'll also try using the cable to play the game as well. So I do like this a bit more. It needs to have the sensitivity turned up, but here's my problem. So I don't know how well this will show up on video, but for example, if I turn on gyro and I go up and down, do you see how perfectly it's going up and down? And it's like too perfect. So for example, watch me spin in a circle. Do you see how instead of making a circle, it's making a tiny square? That's what I mean by it doesn't feel natural. I don't know why it's not like doing angles very well. You can technically do angles, but look at how like difficult it's being, you know? And I don't know if this is a setting, I don't know if this is a problem with something I have set up or if it's a Bluetooth problem, but in my mind this makes the gyro unusable because it's like trying to steer a car with like a square wheel. Like it's just not smooth, you know what I mean? Now I will say the cable they provided with this thing is very long, so that's kind of nice. So even if your TV set is pretty far from where your couch is or whatever, you can still probably reach. But the only thing is, if you're using this for gyro and you want to have like the lightweight, you know, thing going on, this cable is going to add weight and it will make it harder to aim with the gyro. So if it does work better with the gyro, the cable is defeating the not having the rumble pack and it being lighter, all that sort of stuff. So I think I figured out what I'm supposed to do if I want to use the cable. I turned the controller off, which turned, you know, all the indicators off, and then just plugged in the cable, and that automatically kicked on the Steam logo with the charging logo, but not the wireless one. So I assume that it's actually using the wired connection and not wireless. Okay, with the cable, it's way better for the gyro. Like, I don't know if it's obvious through the video, but this feels way smoother. Like, this is a usable gyro. Like I feel I'm not even a gyro person, and look, I feel way comfortable navigating this space, even though I do look a little bit silly. But like, okay, I want to get rid of that camera. It fell. I want to pick this up, drop this through here. Like, I don't know if it's obvious in the video. For someone who isn't good at gyro, this is so much easier to use. So now, same settings. Let's unplug the controller. Wireless is turned on. Same settings. Can you see it? Like, look at that. I don't know if it'll show up in 30 FPS. I will say okay, in Portal 2, the stair-stepping problem isn't happening right now. So maybe that was just a Fallout problem. But it is like noticeably laggy. If I were to use gyro with this current like version of the controller or software or whatever, I would have to use the cable because this is like really stuttery. So this is wireless without a cable. This is with the cable. I don't know how well this shows up in the video, but it feels like butter smooth. Like this is actually quite pleasant to play. I'd be happy playing games like FPS games or, you know, light puzzle games using this gyro. Maybe even like a little bit of TF2, you know? Actually, let me try to play a game of TF2 with the cable gyro. Hey, I got a kill. Got another kill, and then I got critted. So, I mean, that's the best you're gonna get out of me for that. So, cable, totally usable. Let's go wireless. And yeah, I don't think it's as like square shaped movement as it was before, but there's definitely like a lag delay that doesn't feel great, but it might be playable. Hey, I mean, a wireless headshot on the spy, it might be usable. I don't know. No. Okay, that's it. I think you get the idea. What is this discrimination? You can't play Deadlock on the Steam Deck? That's outrageous. I'm not quite sure what's going on, but whenever I hold this button, it makes an angry noise. I think it's spamming jump. But yeah, I think there's a reason you're not allowed to play Deadlock on the Steam Deck. So I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you learned something about these controllers and their odd quirks that they have. If you have any other questions or comments, please leave them down below. But I think that's going to do it for this video, so thanks for watching.